In the next 5 minutes, you're going to see the dark side of a legend you thought you knew. Half man, half beast. These elusive shapeshifters have haunted our nightmares and fueled our darkest tales. At their core, a werewolf is defined by one terrifying gift: the power to tear free of human flesh and become a wolf-like monster. In many European legends, that monster is no ordinary wolf. It's larger, stronger, and more relentless than any wild predator. Yet in other stories, the curse yields a grotesque fusion: sharp fangs set in a human face, hulking shoulders draped in coarse fur. Most myths tie the change to the full moon's glow, but older accounts whisper of sorcerous wolfskin belts or sheer willpower, the wearer transforming at command. Once the shift begins, humanity vanishes, replaced by razor-keen instincts and a savage hunger. Nothing is safe. Flocks, villagers, even friends fall prey to the beast's unbridled wrath. This loss of self, of control, is the heart of every werewolf tale. The monster roaming outside is only the surface threat. The true terror lies in our own hidden darkness. And when silver alone can fell these creatures, we're reminded that some fears demand the rarest of weapons. Long before the howl of the full moon echoed through the woods, the seeds of lycanthropy were sown in ancient myths. In Greece, the tale of King Leon stands as the earliest whisper of man-wolf transformation. Leon, driven by hubris, served Zeus a banquet of human flesh, an unthinkable insult to the gods. In fury, Zeus stripped him of his humanity, casting him into the form of a wolf that matched the savagery of his crime. From this gruesome punishment sprang the word lycanthropy, the name we still use to describe the cursed condition of werewolves. But this primal fear didn't remain confined to Hellenic shores. Far to the north, in the sagas of the Norse, the Ulfednar, or wolf warriors, embodied a different kind of transformation. These fierce fighters donned wolf pelts not out of magic, but to channel the beast's ferocity in battle. Clad in fur and tooth, they moved like silent shadows, their human hearts pounding in time with the wild pack. Across both legends, the wolf becomes more than an animal. It is a symbol of punishment, power, and the blurred line between civilization and savagery. As the Middle Ages deepened its shadow across Europe, the Wolfman legend became more than folklore. It became a death sentence. Accusations of lycanthropy were entwined with whispers of witchcraft and devil worship, turning every suspicious villager into a potential monster. One of the most infamous cases belongs to Peter Stump of Bedburg, Germany. In 1589, Stump was accused of slaughtering 14 people, including his own daughter, while transformed by a magic belt. Under torture, he confessed to drinking a witch's salve that turned him into a wolf. When Stump's trial ended, he was broken on the wheel, burned alive, and his head and limbs displayed as warnings to others. Not far away in France, Gilles Garnier earned the fearful title, the Werewolf of Dole. In 1573, children's bodies were found mauled in the woods, and Garnier, an eccentric hermit, was blamed. He reportedly admitted to eating human flesh under a wolf's skin. The court found him guilty, and he too was executed by fire. Between 1450 and 1600, dozens of alleged werewolves met similar fates. Judges hunted for telltale signs: patches of coarse hair, pupils that shimmered in torchlight, or a shadow that stretched into a wolf's silhouette. In some trials, Villagers used silver daggers to test for a supernatural wound, or watched for tears that didn't bleed red. Today, historians recognize that many so-called lycanthropes likely suffered from mental illnesses, clinical conditions that medieval courts could neither understand nor treat. Yet at the time, the only remedy was brutal execution. These trials reveal not just a fear of monsters in the woods, but a deeper terror that anyone, even your closest neighbor, might harbor a beast within. The 20th century unleashed a new era of werewolf lore, and it was Hollywood that captured our collective imagination. In 1941, Universal Pictures released The Wolfman, introducing us to Larry Talbot, a man torn between love and savagery, cursed to transform under the full moon, and doomed to hurt those closest to him. This film didn't just thrill audiences, it crystallized the modern werewolf, a tragic figure caught between two worlds. Decades later, our fascination evolved. In Twilight, the wolf becomes protector, strong, silent, and fiercely loyal. In Underworld, the werewolf, or lycan, emerges as a tragic anti-hero, locked in a centuries-long war against vampires, torn between duty and desire. No longer mere monsters, these creatures now embody our own struggles. The fight for acceptance, the yearning to belong, and the fear of the self we might become. If the many faces of lycanthropy have stirred your curiosity, I have another haunting tale for you. The legend of Auhertach, the Irish vampire whose bloodlust matched any wolf's hunger. Click the link on screen to dive into Ireland's most chilling vampire saga.